right now. Adam Page versus Ryan Nemeth right now. I'm watching it.
Oh, did you see that he wrote up if then anyone else calls me baby doll if I'm quitting Twitter?
Well, then maybe, just maybe, he doesn't dye his hair blonde.
Oh, there we go.
You got me?
Yep, we got you.
Now I don't have you.
Well,
Oh no.
wow,
I'm eating some tater tots.
you're eating
Yum.
tater tots. That is are they loaded tater tots?
Look, I think this is the first time that we've done the interview from the bar at the bar.
That's a great point. Look at that. So we are we're doing a show.
Full day of working out and getting shit done.
Yeah.
This is like my only time to eat. I literally just got out of the bathtub. I'm just trying to soak my old ass body in like bath bubbles. My buddy's like, "Hey, we got to get some meat." I'm like, "I got a podcast."
we were just.
I wasn't expecting music and all that stuff.
No,
so
that's fine. It fits.
I'm here, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome. We were just saying this is our first ever show where we're doing it from a bar and we're interviewing at a bar. So that's exciting. Look at that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now,
so if I ever have to listen, it's just me.
Okay. So I've had notes for a couple days. A couple times.
Oh.
That's okay. I can hear him, so he can still hear us.
Yep.
But I noticed recently you're a DDP yoga instructor, drill instructor.
That I am.
Yes.
That was by the man himself, Mr. John.
Well, I tell you, Vanessa. Yes, so we'll wait for him to
idolizing him. Now here I am. He's like the drill sergeant, honestly. Like, it's his baby, so like you don't call his way or this and that. He's been doing it for like 15 plus years, and I come in, he just knows it like backhand. I'm like, oh my god, like, you know, knowing if my right's my left or my left's my right. So it's been a great time. He's been super patient and just God, man, he's been such a huge blessing for me.
Now, I saw you with Zicky Dice and Big LG Gallows. What was that experience like, and how lazy are those two?
Oh, those guys are great. Luke Gallows, fucking Zicky. Those are my boys. They all live here in Georgia with me, and that was I think what you saw was like a typical Tuesday for us. Just between doing content, like we're always helping each other out. Those guys are always helping, like teach me, learn stuff, and we just want to make people laugh and feel good, and just kind of forget all about all the crap that's going on, you know, in the world. And sometimes our humor can be a little bit, you know, childish or vulgar, but like we're just trying to get people away from thinking like who we are, being serious people or professional wrestlers, and just be stupid and funny. And just take their minds off of stuff. And those guys are just good to the core, man, salt of the earth.
Exactly. Those two are about as stupid as they come. So you definitely hooked your wagon to two good ones there.
Yeah, I'm in the right crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
No, they were great. We did talk. I met them like during the summer. They put me in Talking Shop Mania 1 with them, and since then we hit it off. And you know, Gallows and everybody has just been super. Just welcoming and loving, and we've just been grinding together, man, because what you guys see is like work, but then we got our regular jobs, and we got pro wrestling, we got this, so a lot of people don't see that, but so it's just a good it's like being in the military. For me, it was like a good tribe, like family, brotherhood. So getting out of that, that's why a lot of people most like fail in civilian life, because they can't find that tribe anymore. So it's funny just jumping into pro wrestling and then getting to where I'm at now and getting around like-minded people and individuals, especially from people that I used to, you know, watch on TV all the time, and just seeing how down to earth they are and how like big their heart is. Like, man, I wish people knew like the real, you know, individuals So doing podcasts like this allows me to kind of like put that out there. Like, yeah, everybody's grinding just like everybody else, and the same thing. Like we hold each other accountable, and in order to get shit done and keep moving forward, because it's tough even for public figures and celebrities too. But we want to we have a better platform sometimes than most, but we want to still bring joy, and by doing that, like we were able to forget about our crap too. You know, because we're humans, we got kids, ex-wives, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when we do stuff, and then we have fan interaction, and like the loved ones now, like it's I think it's a really good dynamic that we got going.
I totally agree. Because it's a shitty thing. Things that we're going through right now is shitty. So taking our minds off of that is phenomenal. Now I heard you. The first time I heard you was on Busted Open Radio. You had a phenomenal story. Background as one of my children now enters the bar, the arena. You're former military. You've had a lot of stuff go down. Could you give us a little synopsis for maybe the people that don't know exactly about you?
Oh yeah, no doubt. So currently I'm 36 years old, but I could have been like any statistic.
Yeah.
I grew up in the projects, trailer parks. You know, my mom was a meth head. I did meth with my mom. Let's just put it that way.
Wow.
That wasn't anything abnormal from how I grew up. By the time I was 13, I'd already went to like 9 different schools, and that's not counting the same school maybe 2 or 3 times in the same year. And just my mom was in a toxic relationship, one after the other, and anytime rent was due, we moved. So just growing up was a little difficult. I was overweight, fat, bullied. So I hate bullies.
Yeah.
And
I hate bullies too.
I got taken away from my mom when I was 13 and got moved in with my dad. Now it's not like my dad was out of the picture, and I always try to explain this. Like my mom and dad, like I have great relationships with them now, but like my mom kind of held us hostage a lot, you know, because she was in bad relationships. So having her kids was always better. It just sucked. But anyways, I got with my dad, and I was able to like actually play sports. I had, you know, and that's where I found wrestling. Basketball, baseball, all that stuff. You know, I could hit the hardest because I was big and fat, supposedly. And, you know, I had so much aggression in wrestling, I could just win. But then I went down like a similar path. You know, I was on Team USA Arizona when I was in 2001 as a, 16-year-old, went to Europe, came back, and I thought things were going to go great. Just dealing with my own depression or whatever, I used to find outlets with drugs, the same thing. That's why I used to do, meth with my mom. And I started a family earlier, and I was like, oh my God, I'm repeating history. And luckily I got a wrestling scholarship, took me out of there, and then I joined the military, finished my degree. It was, blown up quite a few times, hit by lightning, all the crazy stories you can read or watch online, but just constantly fighting and grinding, man. I got 7 kids, just grinding, but it wasn't nothing new for me. It was just like, gosh, man, when's the rest? But life will never give you that. You'll find it when you need it. In the meantime, you just got to get shit done.
Get shit done. That's right. GSD for sure.
Right.
Wow. That's like when I heard you on Busted Open, I heard about the lightning and your rough upbringing. I said, this kid's a survivor. Well, kid. But this guy's a survivor.
Yeah, no, for real.
he's fighting. He's picking himself up. He's getting hit in the face a lot, and still picking himself up. And that's the vibe I got. You did walk on it at Arizona State at a late age, because of the military. But you set records there.
Yeah.
You made a name there. You've what do I got here? You were mentored by Dan Severn, maybe? You had a WWE trial. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I became a starter. I became the oldest Division I athlete in history. Dan Severn was like the only guy that would help train me because I had a WWE tryout. Because at this point, at 35 years old, a lot of people that have been in the business for a long time are very leery of outsiders and stuff like that, whatever. This has been my dream since day one. I always try to tell people that. I just never could do it with so many freaking kids. But I had the opportunity, and it's always better to be prepared for an opportunity than have an opportunity not be prepared. So I was like training myself, and then Dan Severn, who's an ASU alumni, Arizona State All-American, helped train me to get there. And then when I got there, I started, doing a little bit of extra work for the WWE. COVID hit, but I started wrestling at Devotion Championship Wrestling in Utah, which is a promotion that, Manny Lemons runs, who's written by Vince Russo. So they put me on TV, then made my way with Al Snow and OVW, and he helped train me even more. And just that grind, and, then Dallas getting with me. Let me rewind. After December, like, my wife divorced me after, 16 plus years, close to 17 years. And so I basically I was still in college. I had to finish 6 months of school. My kids are, with me. My lease is up in May, and I basically had to start all over again. Because with that many kids, between alimony and child support, like, what are you going to do? And it's not like I'm against, like, your regular average normal jobs. I always feel like I'm an entertainer. There's so much more. Like, I've done a lot of shit. It's hard to go from 100 to 0.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not that I always say, like, I thrive in chaos. I fucking hate chaos, but bring it. I love, just breaking through walls that a lot of people see you can't. And that's what I did. And here I am with, DDP. He took a liking to me. He had a similar upbringing, just like me. And he started in the business just like me at 35 years old.
That's right.
He was a manager prior to that, but he was 35 and a half when he started. I'm 30. I've been wrestling for over a year at 35. So it's like it was meant to happen.
Yeah.
And not only just with wrestling, let me put this, like, he allowed me to come into his empire, learn how to do this. And now I'm doing the Warriors Purpose program, helping, veterans with, not just weight loss, but, PTSD, depression, everything you can think of under the sun. Yeah. And just get these guys doing things from, like, tying their shoe. We have a guy who hadn't tied his shoe in, close to 10 years. Can bend over and tie a shoe and breathe, like he's like that. Most fat people, we hold our breaths, we can't do it, or we pre-tie our shoe and we just shuffle it on. So, like, a lot of stuff that, even I take for granted, like, these are these huge victories and milestones. So, like, that's a huge, blessing that Dallas would even entrust me with this. But it's just great. It's just about keep moving forward.
How important we're doing a little bit of mental health support tonight up in Canada. Bell Let's Talk, hashtag Bell Let's Talk. How important or how vital is mental health, not only in the military, but going through everything that you've gone through, not only in the military, but with your upbringing in wrestling and all that? How vital is mental health?
God, man, it's the number one priority. Like, if you have a day where your mind is everything, you feel like crap, like, why would you do anything for anyone else? Or if you're feeling like the world's against you, you're not. Why do you think people take themselves out? Because they feel like they don't feel love. That's how bad, like, the mind is. And it's finding those countermeasures and those strategies in order to combat that. Because a lot of stuff we do, we create in our minds. Not that people don't care sometimes or want to help us. It's just the way that we perceive it. And just, there's been a lot of people that have ruined it for others. And because of that, that's that stigma and stuff like that. And the keyword stigma, a lot of people don't want to reach out or ask for help or do any of that stuff because they're afraid of being labeled or having a right taken away from you, whether that's owning a gun or doing this or doing that. Well, I was in a mental health institution or behavioral health treatment facility. I got out, I wrote a book, I graduated, I went and things. So it's like, it has nothing to do with a stigma. Like, if anything, I just proved, like, the stigma doesn't even matter, exists. It's what people create and stuff like that. So, but to answer your question, it's everything. Even for me, like, if I don't do those strategies, whatever, I can fall back in that dark hole quick. Between my ears and that brain, like, what goes on, like, it's a dark place. And if I wasn't being so active and involved, like, it can be deadly and dangerous. It's about, like, just getting out there and being around other people who have either been through what I've been through or are going through it, and just being able to feed off each other. That peer-to-peer, therapy is important. That accountability, and I think that's what a lot of people miss, because when you get in those bad, dark places with mental health, you want to withdraw.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of it all the time. And luckily, if you can build or just take that risk to go find people that can pull you out of that, or not always tell you what you want to hear, but also the negative, like, hey, pull your head out of your ass. That's positive too, because you never know, like, it's what you need. It's, you got to build each other up, but it's not always going to be like with hard stars and horseshoes, clovers, and baboons. It's going to be pretty rough. You're going to get full Captain Crunch with no berries.
For sure. You mentioned you wrote a book. I don't have that in my notes, so why don't you tell me about that book?
Oh, well, yeah, I wrote a mental health workbook, so
Okay.
it has worksheets, everything between, dialectical behavior therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, stuff that I've went through, my whole life, going through counseling, therapy, everything, which, like I say, I wrote the book and I literally did. So basically, it's like a lot of recycled information,
Right.
but it was my own personal worksheets that I used to do, like in my notepads. All I did was graphically depict it, put it in, a book form, so other people can do it, because it's real, it's authentic. I mean, talk to my close inner circle. I got that book on me today because it's just easier now. I don't have to like do it my own little notepad papers. It's already like done for me, but that's what I used for me, and I learned that from other therapists and sessions. So I just wanted to share that with a lot of people, because everyone's like, how did you do this? How did you overcome this? How did you do this? And I was like, you don't always have people to help you that, so you have to help yourself. And that's why I wrote this book, because that's what helped me kind of get my shit together.
You mentioned OVW, Al Snow, an OVW wrestler. I know that their world championship had to get vacated because that coward Brian Pillman had to go somewhere else. But their championship had to get vacated. Where do you stand in OVW circle? What what's on the horizon? Where can we see you?
Well, I'm down here in Georgia. I train at the Nightmare Factory.
Ah,
interesting. And I work very close with those promotions that are down here.
Nightmare Factory, huh?
Yeah, so if you can put 2 and 2 together with that, yeah, you can see what's on the horizon.
Yeah, I like that. That is very, very interesting. So,
no, I'm with the great people, QT Marshall's.
Yeah.
The best trainer I've had up to this day. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about him, not just for me, but that dude literally puts his heart and soul into every individual there, regardless of their story, what they can bring to the table, or what they can do for the business. And I've been to tons of schools, and that guy is one of a kind, especially for a guy that actually can make decisions and do stuff. He's like, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah. We just saw a Nightmare, not Nightmare graduate, maybe a graduate. I don't know. We just saw a Nightmare student.
Yeah, it was a graduate.
Graduate on AW Dark. Is that the route we might see Roman Rozell?
You might see a little bit past that.
Ah.
What's the opposite of dark?
Nah.
Oh, the bang.
I like that.
On TNT, feel a bang, get some dynamite.
Yeah.
No, you never know. I'm not gonna say that.
For sure.
Just stay tuned.
You would feel the dynamite.
It's good. It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good year, not just for me, just for a lot of people.
That's awesome.
So if you're tuning in, get ready to be entertained.
Well, Roman, I can tell that the music is hopping there. Your tater tots are getting cold. So I'm gonna give.
Yeah, I got a club sandwich.
Yeah,
so I'm ready to go eat that bad boy.
I'm gonna give you the mic, man. Let us know where we can find you. Get your merch. Get anything else. Put yourself over. The floor is yours.
Yeah, hey, tune into anything. DDPY, DDPYoga.com. Get the app. The shit works. I do this literally 2 to 3 times a day. If I don't do it, I need to. I only do it that many times because I gotta train people.
Yeah.
But it's a lifestyle now. And then Grunt Style, if you want to get some Grunt Style apparel, it's a lifestyle brand. So it has nothing to just do with American military. It's just being a patriot.
Yeah.
And to look at some good content, use my code GSD20, get 20% off. And my handle at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is at Roman Rozell. But everybody just, I can't stress enough, like, just be good people.
Be good
in
people.
society, love each other, just smile at people, shake hands, open doors, just do stuff because a lot of that's missing. So regardless of what I do in the future, anything like that, just be the best you. And it ain't about you. Be the best of, that mental health. You don't know what that other guy's going through. So if you're going through a shitty day, make it a goal to be nice to somebody else to bring them out of their shitty day.
For sure.
And that'll multiply. So that's what I leave you with.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us your time. Go have fun with whoever you are. Go enjoy those tater tots, that club sandwich. We'll see you around, man. The door's open. Peace.
Okay.
Later. Awesome. Awesome stuff. That's good. That was good stuff. Right, Vanessa?
We get lots of drops on this show of like teaser things that are going to happen.
I may or may not have pried the bear there. Oh.
We may or may not have jumped the gun.
Hey, by the way, did anybody hear the tables being broken upstairs? The crying child? Like I had to deal with a lot during this show. It was good stuff, man. I can't believe he said what he just said.
Who the hell game?
Like he said he just said he's gonna be on Dynamite. He just said that. He just alluded to that.
And it sounded like he's not going to be alone.
Yeah, it sounded like the Nightmare Factory's taking over. That's
well, not even just that. Like the comment that was made.
Bang.
Was Diamond, Dynamite, and Bang.
Ooh.
And we've already seen Diamond on Dynamite.
That is some tessellation.
Whew.
Woo. Good grief. Was that what you expected in Roman Rozell interview?
That was phenomenal. And the fact is, like, I see, like, right, because I follow him on Instagram and Twitter, and I see him posting all the videos.
Okay.
And, like, I was, like, looking at him, and I'm like, this does not look like this man. So now I'm, like, on my phone, and I'm, like, trying to compare and being like, this is not this man.
That is, that was not what I expected at all. Based on what I heard, when I heard him on Busted Open,
were you expecting like prim, proper military man?
I don't know, man. He seemed.
But you have to remember, though, he's just like he said. He's going through family business.
Yeah, you're right.
In December, and he was on Busted Open in November.
That's right. That's right.
October, November.
Yeah, his wife just divorced him in December. You're right. He's got 7 children.
He's in a different headspace right now.
You're 100% correct. Exactly.
He's in survival mode.
That was a different person than the person that talked to Mark Henry and Dave on that Friday.
I like this one.
It was fun.